Mindful Life Practice community.
All right, so welcome to your 30-minute Yin yoga practice. We're going to begin this practice in a child's pose. So you can come onto your mat and bring your toes to touch together. Let your knees be wide. Let your arms be heavy, and then just rest your forehead. And as you drop into stillness in your shape, you drop into your breath and you drop into your body. And you start to gather your attention and awareness in the present moment. So this morning for our practice, we're going to be focusing on the theme Santosha. And Santosha is one of the niyamas in the Yoga Sutras. And what Santosha translates to is contentment. And what it asks you to do is to try and practice contentment right here now. Not lingering in the past. Not worried about the future. Just trying to be present and joyful in the here and now. And I know that that is easier said than done. See if you can cultivate some kind of joy for being here now, despite everything else that's going on for you right now, whatever it might be. Let's take another breath in our child's pose. And then you're just going to walk your hands over to the right. So you're getting a right side body stretch, left side body stretch. And then bring your arms all the way through center, and you're going to stretch the opposite way. So over to the left, getting a right side body stretch. Then just come all the way back through center with the palms. And then make your way up to a child's pose, or sorry, not a child's pose, a table, lifting all the way up. And then let's do a couple of cat-cow flows. So just tilting at our pelvis, lowering our belly, lifting our heart, and then going the other way, curling the spine. And then maybe you want to do some side bends as well, going from side to side. And then the first pose that we're going to drop into is a melting heart pose. So what you're going to do is walk your hands forward and then just rest your forehead with your hips lifting up. So your hips are stacking above your knees and your forehead is resting either on the mat or on a yoga block. And I'll set us up with our 3-minute timer, knowing that we're going to be in this shape for 3 minutes. So the 3 principles of Yin Yoga are to find your edge, to stay a while, and to commit to stillness. So I think Yin Yoga is one of the perfect ways to teach us this concept of being content in the present moment. Because it is really uncomfortable. It doesn't make the present moment fun. And your challenge is to find joy and find contentment despite that discomfort. Despite that desire to want to move. Can you find joy being here and now? Knowing that you're not going to be in this heart opening pose forever, just maybe 5 more breaths. And then can you just slowly come all the way up out of that back back bend. And then we're just gonna sit our hips down on our heels and rest our hips and lengthen up through the spine. So this is a counter pose. Just allow the spine to realign. And now the next shape that we're going to take is going to be a kind of a dual shape. We're going to take a lateral side bend and a hip opener. So what you're going to do is you're going to extend your right leg out in front of you, and then you're going to take your left foot and step it across, and your left knee is stacking on top of the right knee. Now, if this is not working for you, feel free to just have your left foot here, or you could even just be in a crisscross. Doesn't matter so much if this is not comfortable, because we are going to be doing a lateral side bend, which is going to be our main focus. So you can leave your right foot where it is and land your right palm. So maybe your right elbow comes onto the mat, maybe your right elbow's on the block, maybe you're on the right hand, and you're just going to reach your left hand over towards the right. Good, knowing that we're here for 3 minutes as well. So we're just kind of working on like unsticking the cage around your heart. So we started with a back bend, and now we're just doing 2 side bends. So I think I constantly suffered from this thing in my childhood and teenagehood of like, I will be happy when, right? I will be happy when I grow up and get to move out of this house. I will be happy when I get to go to university. I'll be happy when I move abroad to Kuwait. I'll be happy when I'm on vacation. And one of the greatest things I learned from my yoga practice and from my sobriety is how to just be happy in the here and now. Right? If you're constantly living for the future, constantly living for the next thing, then you're never going to find joy in this moment, because you will believe that it's elsewhere. So how can you find joy being right here, right now? What does that look like for you? Can you just stay here for a few more breaths? You got it. And then lift all the way up. And then just extend the left leg out. And allow your body to be in neutral for a moment. And then we'll take it the opposite way. So you can lift your left leg up. I lied, your right leg up. We did our left on the opposite side. So you're gonna lift your right leg up. You're gonna cross your right knee to stack on top of your left. And decide what you're gonna do with your left arm. It can be flat on the mat. It can be on a block. And then your right arm is gonna sweep up and over. Like all of the Yoga Sutras, I think that Samtosha is one that is up to you to decide and define for yourself. So I'll give you an example. I was living in and working in a situation that was really toxic for me. And that was an example where I, eventually had to quit my job and leave the country and move somewhere else because I was just never going to personally find happiness there. That was not a place where I could cultivate contentment. And then in contrast, when I moved to where I am now in Abu Dhabi, right, there was a point in time when I was really unhappy and I had to kind of look inward and say, everything is fine about my life. I love my job. I love my apartment. I'm eating well. What is really going on here that's stopping me from being content? And that was kind of what triggered me into the beginning of sobriety. Realizing that I was cultivating a life that was ultimately making me unhappy. So I think when it comes to this idea of finding contentment in this moment, it's also up to the individual to decide, can I find contentment here? Is there somewhere else where I would thrive? Because how much a tree grows, it depends on, how we're able to water it, how we're able to nurture it, how we're able to care for it, and the tree just might be in the wrong environment. And it's up to us to kind of figure out, what do I need to thrive? Cultivate that. Stay in this side bend for just a couple more breaths. And then lift all the way up. Uncross your legs and just bring them all the way into a neutral crisscross. Do one more thing before we take a final resting pose. Just drop your right earlobe down towards your right shoulder. You can take your right arm up, maybe let it be an anchor on the side of the head. And then just extend your left arm to the side, stretching through the left traps muscle. And take your head all the way back up through center. And then we'll take it the other way. So drop your left earlobe down towards your left shoulder. Land your left palm on the right side of your skull. Breathe through the right side of the neck. And then lift your head all the way up. Let your head balance on both shoulders. And we'll finish the last few minutes of this practice in a pose of your choice. If you want to come down into Shavasana, go ahead. If you're happy in this seated meditation, you can stay here as well. Just knowing that I'm going to bring you back in a moment or two when the time is up. By the way, normally I'm obsessively punctual with my classes, ending on time. But we started this one a couple minutes late, which was my fault. And I'm filming these classes for a startup, which is really exciting. I'm almost done this project. But anyway, I'm going to go a few minutes overtime to hit the length of 30 minutes. I'll delete all this talking out of the recording. But my point being, if you have somewhere to go and you need to leave on the dot, don't feel offended if you have to go. Let your whole body rest into this shape. Taking deep and filling breaths in and out. Please prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you. Please prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you. Give your fingers and your toes a wake up wiggle. If you're on your back, just gently making your way up to meet me in cross-legged shape. And if you're in your cross-legged shape, just stay where you are. Eventually bringing your hands to your heart center and just having a softness through your shoulders. Closing with the intention, and it's that our practice remain steady and our efforts remain continuous, and that our yoga serves and benefits all beings everywhere. May all beings be safe and happy and healthy and free, and may the thoughts and actions of each of our lives contribute towards this. So we finish with an Om, and we're going to inhale and exhale. Inhale through to make the Om. So a big breath in. Big breath out. Big breath in. Thank you guys so much for joining me, for sharing this space and the practice. Light in me, it sees and it honors the light in you. Namaste. Oh, thank you guys for joining me. I'm sorry I went overtime. That was my own fault. Yeah, so do we have people booked for the meditation? Did Rachel book?
Yes, we have.
Okay, cool.
Gloria, Rachel, Arbita tomorrow.
Awesome. So we should dip out to the other room. Have a great evening, guys. Thanks for joining me.
Love seeing the sun come up. That is amazing.
It's amazing, isn't it? I was worried it wasn't going to come up this morning because it felt like it took a really long time. Like it was really dark. And then all of a sudden it was just like,
Thank you. Have a good meditation.
bye guys. See you. Thanks for joining. So